Let's talk about the new Minister of Transportation in Nigeria, Muazu Jaji Sambo, last week received an interim report on the move to establish a national maritime fleet. Nigeria lost its space in the global shipping business with the collapse of the national shipping line, or NNSL, in the early 1990s, while an attempt to resuscitate the maritime fleet as the National Unity Line, or NUL, also failed shortly after. Discussing Nigeria's quest for a national flag on the oceans is Beks. He's one of the experts in the maritime sector. He's also the CEO of Maritime Media Limited. It's good to have you here in the studio. Thank you for coming in. Again, the last time we always talk maritime.
Yes.
Professionals like you. So when the report of the interim committee, headed by the new head of the Nigeria Shippers Council, NCS, came last week, and I felt, I'm going to knock on your door. I'm going to ask you to come for this interview to explain to me, but first, the background to this latest move for a national maritime fleet.
Yes, thank you for having me this evening. We missed you at the town hall meeting in Sheraton, where we were setting an agenda for the maritime.
That was a good one.
Yes,
but
yes.
This is one of the issues.
This is one of the issues. Yes. Certainly one of the issues.
Because the airlines, the Nigerian Air, is being pursued by Sirika and his team about whether we should have a national carrier for air transport. You are here to talk about the ocean, the maritime shipping line.
Yes. When the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, came on board, he came with so much enthusiasm. In fact, he wanted a replica of the Nigeria Airways. He wanted the Nigerian National Shipping Line, or later NUL. And so he came with that zeal to work. But the problem was that he wanted to do too many things at the same time. He wanted also to make sure the ship owners came together to form a consortium. At the same time, he wanted the clearing agents to move together as one team. He was also putting together a union that will have all maritime journalists together. So he came with so much, but along the line, you know, this is usually the difference between the politician and the technocrat. Along the line, he started to derail, because what he was saying was different from the expectation of the sector, that is the ship owners. Now, what was the issue? The main issue for the average Nigerian ship owner was the disbursement of the cabotage vessel financing fund. And so,
but that's different from the national maritime fleet.
Yes, but you see, when you're talking about the fleet,
yes,
these same ship owners are the ones that will benefit from the cabotage vessel financing fund. And so what they did, what Amaechi did was, which was a fantastic idea, was to take some ship owners on tour of Asia. I think they visited Singapore. Along the line, they signed an MOU with Pacific Atlantic Limited, you know. And the arrangement was that this company will bring about 40% of the buy-in, while Nigerian ship owners will bring 60%. And so Amaechi was very, very excited when he came back home, and only for him to discover that this was not going to be easy to achieve. That is 60% from the ship owners. And so along the line, the rhetoric started to change.
If ship owners are putting 60% of the fund on the table, yes, who brings the balance of 40%?
The Pacific International Limited.
The Singaporeans.
Yes, the Singaporeans. And so when they now started to see the body language of the Nigerian ship owners, and of course that of the government, of course.
So between the ship owners and the Nigerian government, we couldn't put up that money?
No, couldn't. Of course, you know your Nigerian banks, the loans from Nigerian banks, double digits. How many ship owners can afford that kind of money? And so there was this.
But where is the cabotage money, my friend?
The cabotage money, that is the CVFF fund that we're talking about.
Yes.
For over 13 years or so, that fund was established. A single kobo has not been disbursed. Don't
has not been disbursed, so that the money is not there?
Well, we are told that the money is there, because there are two things. You know, whether the money is not being disbursed or the money is intact.
The money hasn't been given to ship owners.
No, it hasn't been given to ship owners.
But the money is
there.
But
meanwhile, the National Content Monitoring Board
has
the same kind of arrangement, and there's just 1% contribution. NCMB has disbursed over $750 million
In terms of local content?
Yes, local content. They have done that. So the problem we're now having here is that why is it taking so much? And then the narrative started to change from Amaechi. Oh, there's this lacuna in the Capital Vessel Financing Act, which is making it difficult for us to finance. Then there was also this challenge. Where should this money be? In the TSA account or in a commercial bank? Because you can...
Or with the central bank?
With the central bank. You can't put such money in the central bank. The Act did not say so. The Act says clearly that this money should be in a commercial bank where it is yielding interest. How do you lock up such money in the TSA account? So that was the problem the former Minister of Transport had with the money. And so along the line, himself and the Minister of the Finance, were told to fell apart. And so Sambo came to say,
the new Minister of Transportation.
Yes, no. He said we must break the jinx. And that was why the meeting last week.
The interim report here?
Yes,
was chairman by the
yes, was
the Shippers Council.
And then so when you now start to see, now, most of the things we are having in this country, the problem can be traced to NNPC.
Why is that so?
One of the reasons where ship owners have been able to take back, of course, you can imagine the number of vessels that are coming here to lift your crude.
Yes.
They are in the hands of foreigners. And NNPC has not been cooperating with the massa and with the ship owners. They keep saying the ship owners and local ship owners do not have the capacity. What are you talking about?
Capacity in terms of?
To provide the vessels.
Are you sure local ship owners have?
That is what they said, but the local ship owners said no, because even in shipping, even if you don't have the vessels, you can hire. You can hire. So this has been the problem, and so this current Minister of Transportation, he said he's determined to break the jinx. But how he's going to do it is what is my worry.
That's one of the reasons we asked you to come on the show, because we need a national shipping line. That's what he says.
Yes.
It's an interim report, but we understand this report has been in the making since 2018.
2018, this committee was inaugurated in March 2018.
When Amaechi was
minister, it was then headed by Hassan Bello. Hassan Bello has left. We have an ES, the Executive Secretary, and the Shippers Council.
Yes.
And so at the time,
so we're back to the beginning, or we've made progress?
Pardon?
Have we made progress? We're back to the beginning.
If you ask me, we are back to the beginning.
I'm asking you.
We are back to the beginning because we are going to start all over. That's
what an interim report is all about. Yes. So can we do anything between now and 2023? Is it really possible?
The minister has assured us that it's possible. We still have about 7-8 months. Am I right?
This administration has until end of May next year.
Yes.
So it's more than 6 months.
If you look at this minister is coming from the background, with the maritime background. He has worked in the MPA. He has been the area manager at NUL, National Inland Waterways Authority. So he came not as a learner, as somebody who has a clear understanding of the maritime industry. And so he after that meeting in Abuja last week, is coming to meet ship owners in Lagos anytime soon to trash out those gray areas that is making it difficult for the disbursement of the capital.
Nigeria does not have money to put up to buy those ships.
No.
We don't have the money.
We don't have the money. We can't even pay ASU. Where will the money come from?
So where would we get money to float a shipping line?
That's why we are going to start all over again to sign an MOU, because it has to be a PPP arrangement. There's no way the government will dip its hands into his coffers to say, yes, ship owners, we are giving you this money, go and buy ships. Because like Amaechi was saying...
If the money had been contributed and is there, why not give the ship owners the money?
Now, one of the things that delayed this thing was the fact that Amaechi was telling them to go and form a consortium. Because you cannot... And he was also afraid.
What's wrong with setting up a consortium?
He was also afraid that some of the ship owners were looking at this money as a national cake. Like what happened to the Ship Acquisition and Building Fund, SABC.
I remember. Of those, yes.
And so people took the money, some married new wives, some built new houses, and there were no ships. And so Amaechi was also very careful that the money this time around.
And now I understand where we have some population increase, because folks who get money, instead of buying ships and other waters, they're marrying more wives and creating babies rather than creating jobs in the maritime industry.
And also don't forget, when you begin to, these narratives were in the public domain.
Yes.
And when you say the banks are they not the people that the ship owners will approach to seek for loans or whatever to build the ships? And so when these narratives of
to buy ships, not to build ships. Can we build the ships?
We can, because
we can
because the present DG of the Masa, Bashir Jamo, is also playing with the idea of we going to a shipyard in Kenya to look at the facility, one of the best building yards in Kenya, so that we can come and replicate that. But whether the ship owners are going to agree with that is another ball game completely, because the law did not say. The law says this money should be disbursed to the ship owners. He didn't say that.
Well, it looks like everybody has a little pieces of ideas. You have some idea. Yes. So if we add it to the minister's idea and the master's DG idea and everybody's idea, maybe we're going to come up with one fantastic idea.
Yes, but with the cooperation of all of us, I think that this minister is determined. He's determined. Okay, maybe he will do what he will do in 7 months, what Amechi did not do in 7 years.
Let's see how it all goes. Thank you so much. It's nice having you here.
You're
really
welcome.
Insightful from Beks, Maritime expert and CEO of Maritime Media Limited.